What's going on, everybody? Let's see, who do we got today? We got Tookie. We got Tim. We got Dark Pitch. What's up, y'all? We got Vlad. How you doing, Vlad? Kill House Ammo. What up, what up? Which to play? Well, I mean, that's up to you. You know, they're both good games. You know, if you want to play some DDA, play some DDA. If you want to play some DD2, play some DD2. The thing with DDA to remember is it's not a finished product yet. It's still a game in development. So, I mean, if you want to play a finished product, then play DD2 or DD1. Just play some kind of Dungeon Defenders. What's going on, Alex Emmanuel? Anyway, I'm on US West, y'all. I'm going to do some Prime Incursions today for a couple of hours. Figured anybody that needs a Prime Incursion run still, feel free to join me on US West. DD2 is 25% DD1 maps. Tookie, you wouldn't, from the names of the maps, you wouldn't understand. I'm not going to go through every map. DDA far from sucks at the moment. It's just an uncompleted product. Judging a game that is incomplete is... it's just not what you do. I mean, come on, y'all. Let them finish the damn game before you pass judgment. Anyway, here we go. So, we're going to do some primes. Let's go advance. Where do we want to start? Which one to start at? Malthius. Return of Maldonis. Return of Maldonis is always fun. Let's start off there. So like I said, I am on US West. The game will say Juice Live. Anyone who wants to, feel free to hop on in and join me. I've been having a lot of fun in DDA. It's just not, the full grind isn't there yet. So right now you can grind, if you hit it too hard, you will grind yourself out really quick because you'll run out of things to collect or things to do. The Prime Incursions, you have a chance at getting Chaos 8 amps. You have a chance at getting a fully upgraded Chaos 8 weapon. And for completing each Prime region, you'll unlock a Hyper Shard. Who we got here? We got Sirzex. What up, what up? What's going on, Alex? DDA is scheduled to come out in the second quarter of 2020. Let's see, I got my heroes moved around to the wrong slots. What the heck? Move him to 3 so I don't get confused. There we go. Y'all know I get confused so damn easy. Let's see here. That'll work, that'll work. Just gonna spam it up here. By the end of June. They said the second quarter, but remember saying the second quarter is, all of those milestones came out pre-coronavirus. So you have to remember that too. Now, they haven't talked about there being any delays for it, but just, I think, common sense would say there could potentially be. So, you know, want to take that into consideration as well. They don't have access to their normal setup. They're all working from home, you know. We got so much DU to spend on this map. What's going on there, Galaxy? It's an old casino term that's just been my video game name for a really long time there, Alex. Yankee Islander, what's up, man? How you doing? So we're just spamming it up here. Just throwing a little Petrify and some Flamars in the lane. God, we still got 340 left. Holy crap, man. The DU on this map is through the roof. When in doubt, spam more flame auras. Let's see. Oops. Or no, I got the flame aura. Thought I sold the wrong thing. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to force it. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, I'm expecting it to be here by the end of June, too. But on the same note, if some sort of delay does come up, I mean, I think that's very realistic that that could happen. So I don't think people should be caught off guard by it if it does happen. Even though they haven't given any indication that it will. I think that's pretty fair to say, you know? I mean, me being a content creator and not having to go out and deal with people face to face on a regular basis, in my life has been changed considerably, you know? So I can imagine someone who is used to working in an office with instant access to the person next to them, you know, as far as development needs, you would think it would have some sort of an impact. Well, this is 4 p.m. for me, Strange. Yeah, this is my normal stream time. I have started a lot of streams earlier with DDA, and like patch days, I always try to get stream in started earlier. There's more people playing DD2 right now than there has been in several years, Chronos, so that's a strong possibility. With the resurgence of, you know, everybody's at home. Everybody, like so many people in the world are on lockdown right now. So what do? You play video games. So yeah, there's a real good possibility you're seeing a lot more people. But if you look at now, obviously we don't have access to public numbers for PlayStation or Xbox, but we do for PC. And PC, the player base has gone up considerably. In fact, let's take a look real quick. Right now, this second, there is 1,130 people, 1,130 people playing on PC. The average amount of players online over the last 30 days has been 832. The last month that we had more than 832 average players at a time was July 2018. And in fact, we've only had over 700 average players online for a 30-day period. One other time since then that was over 700. Or actually, no, there's two. January 2019, we averaged 800 players. In October 2018, we averaged just over 700 players. So yeah, I mean, right now, there's a ton of people playing DD2 in comparison, you know? Alright, now what did I do? I died. See what happens when I go AFK? I tabbed out and I'm dead. Oops. Damn assassins. Alright, there we go. Siege roller down. We getting it now. I'll pay attention now. Yeah, free to play helps a ton. I mean, really, in just advertising and just the Dungeon Defender's name being used. And that's one thing. I know there's a lot of people that are all about DD2 and against DDA, but everybody's got to realize that this resurgence of player base in DD2 literally started the day the DDA beta started. So, I mean, the player base going up in DD2 players really need to thank DDA for that. Because that's where they came from, is the DDA name. The Dungeon Defenders franchise name has become something again, and people are talking about it and wanting to go back and check it out. So, I mean, right now DD2 has got a ton of new players that started, like I said, when the beta launched, literally the day the beta launched, last November. Now, of course, that compounded again and went up even more when the whole everybody on lockdown thing happened. But there's a new Dungeon Defenders game coming to town. Not everybody has access or wants to pre-order it to buy into it yet. And DD2 is a free product, so you get your fill of DD2 right now for free. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're all great games. You know, they are literally all absolutely wonderful games. So, you know, you got DD1, play some DD1. You got DD2, play some DD2. You know, you're into the DDA early access? Hell yeah, get after it. You know, there's lots of dungeon defending to do right now. Maybe I should actually cleanse some of these spots. What do you think? We'll cleanse a spot or two here. Damn assassin won't get off me. Just won't get off me. Well, just remember DDA, we've just got so much more to do. I'm to the point now where I'm just farming gold, really. I mean, there's upgrades I could get in DDA, but it's just such a minuscule upgrade amount when you look at take the actual math into consideration, you know? It's just such a tiny, tiny amount. So, I mean, I'm still going to be grinding some Summit, grinding some Prom, all that, but at this point, the thing I really wish is I wish that the pets that are dropping from lower acts had a possibility to be at higher quality. Like right now, your chance of getting a high quality Griffin is just non-existent because as far as the math goes, as far as the math goes, Deeper Well is the lowest loot quality, you know. My YouTube streams are normally about 2 hours, so I'll be right around in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, boss and challenge rewards too, for sure. That kind of goes into the deal. The thing with pets, if there was a possibility of getting that rare, higher quality pet, people would grind those maps, and that would just provide a ton of actual gameplay. I never got a good one. I never even upgraded. I actually have a 402 minigun that I've just debated on using instead, but I never got a good paintball gun. Well, I mean, I'm getting bored to tears with running Summit, is the thing. Summit's the best gold, so as far as just straight grinding, that's the map to do. You're going to make a ton of gold out of it, you know? But, I mean, in the last week, I've done Summit literally probably, I don't know, 40 times, I bet, in the last 7 days, at least 40 times. I mean, I've been doing it 5 to 6 times a day, and then a couple of days I did, what, like 12? I had one like 18-hour day. I did like 12 runs. Logged into the game and forgot how to progress. Well, as far as technically getting the next tier unlocked, it would be all about going up in Onslaught floors or increasing your champion score. DD2 is gated by champion score. Was I standing? Oh, I was standing right in one of those things and didn't realize. As far as just breaking into the game, DD2 is a game of shards. You know, the base progression in the game is all about shards. You know? Once you get the shards, you're going to make it through the base progression of the game. And then you can start thinking about some fine-tuned endgame builds. The lowest stats are going to be like 2,000 power, 1,000 rate, 1,000 range are probably the lowest that you'd want to run with. I mean, you're going to have to stay active in the late waves running at those stats. You're not going to be just chillaxing, you know? Alright, which one we want to do next? I forgot to thank those guys for the run. Thanks for the run, y'all. Any of y'all are watching the stream? There's not a Chaos 8 as far as difficulty goes there, Rick, but there is a Chaos 8 level of gear that you can upgrade to. How the difficulty scaling works, you know, just comparing the games, okay? DD1 was a game about rare loot, farming rare loot, and the chances of getting this super special rare loot were really, really low. You know, in some cases you'd have to run a map 300, 400 times to get the rarity of the pet that you were looking for. DD2 is not that game. DD2 is grind... Man, the kitty is just getting crazy in a bag over here. DD2 is a game about grind up the onslaught. So you're grinding the number on the screen. You're not getting better loot. All you're doing is trying to push up as high as you can. So they're two different games entirely. But as far as end game goes, in DD2, it would be pushing as high as you can in Onslaught. Doing, you know, a much lower level of end game would be doing all these Prime Incursions. Mastery mode. Mastery mode is more like challenge modes, if you remember the challenge modes from DD1. Mastery is more like that. But as far as true difficulty goes, it's all about Onslaught. Oops. I just entered a random Onslaught map. Wrong button. Somebody's going to get mad at me because I'm going to leave. If it'll ever even load me into it. You wonder how to beat Prime Blinking? Just like any other map, you just have to... The puzzle, each incursion has a different puzzle element to it. Oh, it put me on 502. Yeah, each incursion has a different puzzle element to it. The Blinking's puzzle element is return the gold to the Blinking. but it's just the same as any other map. It's just the objective is different. So there's not a mob count. The mobs will keep on coming over and over and over again. Anybody selling anything good? Lots of people here. Man, if I needed shiny motes, that's a great price for shiny motes, but I'm overwhelmed with shiny motes at the moment. Alright, what's next, y'all? What's next? As far as Prime Incursions go. Oh, I'm really enjoying DDA, Tyler. What needs to happen with DDA? Well, it just needs to get finished first, and then we can, you know, once we get a finished product, then we can add in what we would like to see to it. But the main thing, in my opinion, with DDA is it needs special loot. Prime Power Surge by yourself is just a matter of getting your rotation down. That one's really quick. I could do it early. I want to do all public matches today, though. But, just get your rotation down. Remember, your defenses are going to despawn at the exact same intervals. So the order that you put them down is the order they're going to despawn. And just keep that rotation going and add in some DPS. And it's GG. Here, I'll run it. I'll just run it real quick. I'll show you guys how to solo it. So another easy thing is having your builder who is also going to be your DPS. Now that means you're either not going to do as much DPS as you want, or your defenses are not going to do as much as you want. So let's pop in real quick and I'll do a Power Surge Prime here. But the important thing, like I said, is remembering your rotation. Oh, I'm still putting in plenty of DDA hours, their best hero. But gotta get a little DD2 as well. If I don't play DD2 every now and then, I get the shakes. Like a junkie that couldn't get his fix. Well, it's a little more difficult to do those in primes. So basically, what my build here would be is I want to be on one hero. I don't want to have to swap. That's going to allow me to DPS or build on the same hero. And the basic build rotation I'm going to use is I'm going to go Flame Aura, Electric Aura, Flame Aura. I'm going to run over here. Flame Aura, Electric Aura, Flame Aura. Then I'm going to run over here. Flame Aura, Electric Aura, Flame Aura. And then just for good measure, I'm going to throw a Sky Guard down in the middle of the map. Just to help with the flyers. Now, when I come back over to this lane, that first Flame Aura I put down first. Did I call it Electric Aura, Dizzy? Oh my god. I can never get these damn things right. Ugh. Jesus. When DD2 first launched, I kept calling it an Electric Aura. Then DDA launches, and I keep calling the Electric Aura the Lightning Strike Aura. I'll never get it right. That will always be a thing. Anyway, so remember, it's time. Don't bother upgrading. Sell if you can, as that will get you your mana back. But, time to vent. So, we want to move fast. So let's get the basis of our build down. I'm going to go ahead and hit G from there. And we will just slow build kind of the rest of it. I'm going to go with a flame or a Sky Guard there. Actually, I didn't get very good coverage on the Sky Guard, so just for good measure, I'll throw another one here. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to DPS. Now I'm going to watch the mini-map and see what's going on, but I'm waiting for that Flame Aura to disappear. When that Flame Aura disappears, I go back around and I start the rotation over again. Now, if you're having problems like running out of mana, then you're going to want to think about maybe selling some stuff. I'm going to go with here with a Sky Guard, so I only need one. And then just right back over to this side of the map again. So now I could have sold that flame aura because I knew it was going soon. But just doing it the easiest possible way, you know? And the easiest possible way is wait for it to despawn. And there we go, wave 1. Now, I don't want to lose out on these R's that are here. So I'm going to G up right away. And get the enemies coming. That way I don't lose any time on my defenses, which I have placed. See what I'm saying? Oops, forgot the Sky Guard. But this map is all about just your rotation, you know? You really need to be back over here. Now, another thing that I didn't equip is Sparkle Party, which I really need to before the next wave. So I'm going to try to remember to get a Sparkle Party kitty cat going here. But just keeping my rotation down, I'll go ahead and sell that Sky Guard since I know it's going soon and get a little bit of the mana back. And then just back over here to DPS again and wait. Now, you do want to keep an eye on the mini-map in case a Berserker sneaks by, or if you got a boss coming. Remember, depending on the boss, like here we got a Plaguing Hawk. Plaguing Hawks move slower than all hell, so I got all the time in the world here. Now I'm kind of screwed because I didn't equip Sparkle Party. So this is going to be a little bit of a little chaotic here for the end of this wave. And we got one more flyer, that's an assassin. I got no defenses down to take it off of me. There we go. So, let me quickly get Sparkle Party equipped. And then now the assassins won't be a problem. So now to recover, obviously I need to recover. So to recover, I'm going to get my first 2 lanes built again before I bother G'ing up. And then rinse and repeat, and it's basically get back to the same old thing. Now, what defense you use is kind of up to you, but it does make life a lot easier if you can use a defense that you can also DPS on that hero. And it's just going to make for a really smooth and easy transition. And back to the top of the rotation. Stranglethorn. I'm not really sure what you mean there, Greg. Oh, you mean the pet ability? Yeah, I mean, use whatever pet ability you want. Sparkle Party is kind of an easy to obtain go-to that is quite commonly used. So, I mean, use whatever pet ability is working for you, you know? You don't have to use this. This is just the one I have handy right here in my bag. Thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate it there, Medicheck. Alright, we got a Drakenlord, which we're going to have to put a quick hurting on. I got 7 seconds left on my Sparkle Party here. See if we can't get this Drakenlord down. And gonna be a stuck Siege Roller, it appears. Or is it over in here? Yeah, that guy is definitely stuck. Sadly, this means we're just gonna have to wait it out. I mean, I can get in there and do some damage to him. The little purple glowy that bounces around is from the shard I'm using. It's Beacon of the Storm. And it does go inside of spawns, which will help you on killing some of these stuck rollers on any hero. But basically any shot type that will go inside of spawns is going to be the thing you do to deal with them. I haven't really had that problem, Greg. It's like I said, I mean, use whatever you want. A stun is a stun. All stuns are the same in DD2. So, I mean, use whatever's working best for you that you've got in your bag. But Sparkle Party does work great. So, I mean, I use it all the time. Alright, so back to the top of the key again. Gonna do the same thing. Gonna get my first 2 lanes built before I hit G, to try to maximize the amount of time. And then we're gonna go back with a Skyguard here. And then just wait for this Flamar to disappear. Now remember the power in basically every aspect of the game. Frostfire Remnants is just such a powerful thing. So, I mean, that's really adding a ton to what I'm doing here. You know, don't be fooled into thinking these Flamars are saving the day. Frostfire Remnants is getting it done. We got a captain rolling out. Now the captain is going to be a fast runner, so I'm going to want to keep an eye on that guy. And make sure... Actually, the captain just died. Just straight up wrecked. Didn't have time to get my... If you play mage, focus on damage or HP. If you're talking about DD2 and you're talking about the apprentice, it would be based off of the build style. You never want to focus the hero health on an apprentice. I mean, you need to have enough to stay alive, but that should never be your primary focus. Hero health is in every Dungeon Defenders game, is more a matter of get yourself to a position where you're comfortable, and then you don't put any more points into it. There's tons and tons and tons of builds posted on my channel there, Goofy. If you go to my channel and scroll down, you should find a playlist called Builds That Work. And then there's also a lot of tips and tricks stuff in the Onslaught tutorials. Onslaught is a matter of either one of two things. Either fine-tuning a specific build to handle countering the enemies and mutators that are there, or using the correct defenses to counter the enemies and mutators that are there. But you have to do one or the other, you know? I'm just gonna kind of ignore this ogre for a minute, make sure I get all healed up nice. So if you go into an Onslaught map, and there we go, Power Surge, Prime. If you go into an Onslaught map, the first thing you do is look at what you've got. Look at the mobs that are coming, look at the mutators that are there, and they tell you what to do. Now, in late game, you'll have a specified build that's used to handle multiple different mutators. So you can use one setup in many, many different types of lanes. But when you're first getting started, like say you're below floor 200 or so, the main thing is using the defense that it's telling you to use. An example there, if you've got a cyborg lane, what do cyborgs do? Cyborgs will temporarily disable ground traps, auras, and nodes. Sorry, y'all, I'm losing my voice here a little today. So if cyborgs are going to temporarily disable ground traps, auras, and nodes, what's the right thing to do? Well, the right thing to do is don't use ground traps, auras, or nodes. That's the right thing to do. Now we're talking base level. That's the base counter to the game, is to use the correct defense. If you've got an enemy or a lane that's full of vanguards and geodes, well, vanguards and geodes don't like projectiles. So what's the base thing you do? You don't use projectiles. We're talking the base counters of the game, Goofy, trying to get people to understand the basics of the game. Earth Shatters and Poison Dart Towers and Petrify combos are something that become effective later. but entry level into the game, they're not super effective until you get the shards you need. Remember, the Earth Shatter is a single target defense until you get Earth Toss, which means it's only going to stun one enemy at a time. Exclamation FA in chat there, Hisaki, will get you a link to my flame auras, or you can do exclamation builds and get a link to my entire Hero and Defense Spotlight playlist. Everything on that playlist, by the way, or all the playlists that are featured on my channel, are 100% current. So if you see a video on one of those playlists that's 2 years old, it's because there hasn't been a change in that build for 2 years. Man, I got a blue present today. What do we call the tree now? Have we moved on to summer solstice tree? It was the Christmas tree. Then it was the wintry Valentine's tree. And I guess now the Easter tree has gone. And now it's the summer solstice tree. Complete with frosty flakes to help keep you cool in the summer heat. Oh, yeah. The wife said it's my birthday tree. My birthday is in a month. Actually, it's less than a month now. Jeez, I'm getting old, y'all. I play DD1, but not as often here. DD1's the masterpiece of a game that started it all for Dungeon Defenders, so it's hard not to play DD1, to be honest with you. It's such a great game. "95% tenacity" works 95% of the time. I mean, you just answered your own question, Sebastian. So if that 5% of the time something gets through that's going to ruin you, that's a problem. The thing with tenacity, and so many people using it on reflect beams to protect the things behind it. So like if I do that, anything I place back here is protected from cyborgs because this has got 100% tenacity on it. Oops, wrong defense. So since I've got 100% tenacity, everything is protected. Now how tenacity works is it reduces the time, which means if the cyborg was going to stun this reflect beam for just say 4 seconds, that means that without having 100% tenacity, this defense is going to be stunned for, it's going to get stunned every single attack for a shorter amount of time. Now, if during the course of that shorter amount of the time, your Flame Aura and Lightning Strike Aura get stunned behind it, then that's going to cause you to lose. And that's why tenacity particularly is such a big deal to have it up to Chaos 8 and 100%. What's going on, Diabolical? If you're using tenacity on, say, auras or fissures or something like that, let's see, let's grab a Lavamancer. You know, if you're using tenacity on, say, fissures, it's not as big of a deal because nothing else is going down because of this failing. No, the Drakenlord is a special maneuver. It's not a standard form of CC. It's a special attack. 100% tenacity on gear is not worth using, in my opinion. First off, to get to 100%, you'd have to have every piece of gear at 10 of 10 and Chaos 8. So, I mean, I personally never use tenacity on my heroes. I know some people do, and if you do and it's working for you, that's awesome. But I personally don't ever use it. No 10 out of 10s for me. We're not going to see any 10 out of 10s, I don't think, in primes unless I just get super lucky. Let's get another one going, though. What next, y'all? What prime incursion next? What you all think? What you all think? You do the things I just said. There's no difference between Lost Temple and any other map. It's just bigger. Prime 7? Prime 7 would be tough. Prime 7 is game optimization. If you beat it, you win. NASA's supercomputer is still working on it. Alright, let's see. Well, since the only map that was mentioned is Blinking, let's get a little Blinking going. So once again, I'm on US West, so feel free to hop in and join me. Here we go. You beat Prime 7? Impressive. Sadly, with DD2, it's on an outdated game engine, and the game is just not optimized super well. So no matter how good your machine is, you are just gonna have problems no matter what. There is no such thing as Prime 7 is what I'm getting at, Goof. Prime 7 doesn't exist. It only goes up to Prime 6. There is no Prime 7, man. See, we're a little tighter for DU on this map. Wrong. EV. Let's see. Get a little CC over here, or a little anti-air over here. Let's get a little more anti-air over here, just for giggles. See what that's going to leave us. Did I make it far enough back on that lane? One of the problems I have with this lane, or this map, is I always build too close. You don't want to build up inside of the spawn on this map. Because you want to have the enemies to have room to come out and drop. Looks like that one's good enough. I don't think that's even an option there, Joker. You gotta remember that DD2, although most people look at Trendy and Chromatic as the same company, they're actually completely different companies. There are some of the same people, but Trendy at the end of DD2's development was controlled by a finance company. And of course, their only concern for the game was monetization. Or not their only concern, but you know what I'm saying. Their main concern for the game was the game's monetization. And it didn't, as far as the original creation, that the original designers wanted to achieve, DD2 turned into something else. And that's one thing that people just have to realize. Let's see, we got 200 left over. I'll just throw some boosty boys in. DDA hasn't even launched yet, Joker. So, I mean, the players aren't even there. The people that are playing DDA now are early access players. Early access players are playing game in development. Most of them understand that. But how early access works with games is you do an update, all the players come back. It's no longer achievable, sadly, Poison Snake. The only way to get it is for Chromatic to give me codes to give away during live streams. and they stopped doing that almost a year ago. So there are no more codes, Sally. They're really good early on, Diabolical, but they've got just some big problems with them. They've got some AI issues, but in addition to that, just the nature of them is very limited, as only 3 bees can attack a target. So no matter how many bees you put down, only 3 of the individual hornets will be able to attack a single target. It wasn't always like that, and when it got nerfed, the nerf bat swung hard, you know? Do I think DDA will have new ideas? I mean, the base mechanics of the game will be the same as DD1. Just taking a little breather there, Kragus. I've been grinding really, really hard. Needed to take a little break. You gotta realize, if you come from DD1, then you know exactly where DDA is going. DDA is going into the direction DD1 was of... It's a game about farming rare loot. Special rare loot. DD2, if you didn't play DD1 and you came from DD2, DDA may confuse you because it's not the same type of game. But you have to remember, it's not our vision. It's their vision. You know, Javahawk and Augie were the original people that originally came up with the original thought of this Dungeon Defenders action defense game. And they're the people that are back and in charge now. So the game is going to be more like their original vision, you know? They're just entirely different games, you know? What more can I say? I mean, DD1 and DDA will be a game about farming special rare loot. DD2 is more about getting your loot in place and then grinding the number on the screen. You'll get to a point in DD2 where you'll have your build dialed down, you'll plateau out, and you will never make another change to your build because you just don't have to. In DDA, you will always be able to get that piece that's a little bit better, because the chance of getting something that's perfect is so low. DDA will probably never have that, Joker. It's a game of farming rare loot. I mean, what more can you say? That's what the game is. Well, I mean, I like all the games, so you will never find me say that one of the Dungeon Defenders games is better than the other. Ever. I will never say those words. All of the games are absolutely remarkable, and I've spent thousands of hours in each of them. So, I mean, just by definition alone, they're all wonderful games. I actually will probably hit 1,000 hours in DDA before the month is up, believe it or not. Already. Crazy. Yeah, that's just, it's not that game, Joker. If DDA's leaderboards will be about scoring and skill, it won't be about how many hours you sunk into the game. I mean, if you look at the DD2 leaderboards, there's several really, really big problems with them. One of them would be, not everyone is on the same page. There's a big difference between having a legacy weapon manufacturer relic and not having a legacy weapon manufacturer relic. And new players don't have access to that. So just by default, the leaderboards from DD2 should be completely removed, because it's only going to piss off new players. Because there's going to be stuff there. Now, granted, they can climb without using that stuff, but when player A has access to more things than player B, then it's not a fair comparison. You know? That's one big glaring problem with the leaderboards in DD2. The other glaring problem with the leaderboards in DD2 is there's quite a few known exploiters on the leaderboards, and that'll never get purged. I'm not going to call anybody out, so don't ask me for names. That's not what I do. But the leaderboards will never get purged. So, I mean, just those things in general make DD2's leaderboard system a fail system, in my opinion. I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's the truth. But that's not the game that the original creators of Dungeon Defenders were trying to create. That's not the vision that they had, you know? And that's where the finance company came in with all of the decisions to encourage monetization. But most things in the game, most design choices in DD2, and don't get me wrong, y'all, I'm not bashing on it. I played this game so many thousands of hours, I absolutely love it. But if you can't see that the design decisions were made because of free-to-play monetization, then you're just not looking. Well, you played a different game there, Joker. We all pick our own ending point. If you're a fan of the original and you embrace the farming rare loot, there's no way you had everything farmed in 20 hours. I mean, that's just not realistic. I mean, I can do, at this point right now, I can do 10 summit runs and only see one upgrade. Well, I mean, then, you know, like I said, I'm not here to call people out, but if you did it in 20 hours, then I would question the integrity of it all. If you cheated, then sure, of course you did. Why'd it take you 20 hours? But no one's RNG is that perfect. 3.5K stats is low end in that final picture too, though, Dizzy. I mean, 4K is where it begins. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is that's not completing the game. That's leveling to 100. There's a difference. Completing the game is acquiring all of the special rare loot. Which out of, God, probably 50, 60 prom runs at least, and another 40 or so summit runs at least, I've only found like one super high piece. So, I mean, if you're getting stuff that's above 170 stats unupgraded across the board, then shit, dude, you got the best RNG of anyone in the known universe. But like I said, you pick your own end, you know? I mean, on that note, you can complete DD2 in, what, about 4 hours. It only takes 4 hours to get to level 50 and get through the campaign. So if you're comparing it in that same thing, that's just why you just don't compare those things. Uh-oh. East Gate Lock destroyed. Wonder what that was. It's alright, I'll just manhandle this lane. But yeah, pick your own end, man. I mean, I've got lots and lots of real-life friends that played DD2 for a day, and we're like, yeah, man, cool game. I'm all done now, though. You know, we all pick our own endpoint. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you're done having fun with a game, you're done having fun with a game. You should move on. There's zero doubts there. A game's got to meet the number one requirement, and that's entertainment value. If it doesn't entertain you any longer, then burn it. Well, you already know that they plan to, though, the Joker. That's the thing. You already know all that stuff is coming. You already know the game is in development, and none of that has been released yet. So, I mean, I guess from that aspect, I'm not trying to argue with you. Like I said, we all choose our own ending. So I'm definitely not trying to argue with you. But you already know the game is still in development and all of that stuff is scheduled to release and it's not out yet. So I just can't really see any of the judginess based off of that. I mean, let them make the game, you know? Have I completed Warping Core? Yeah, I've done all of the DD1 challenges. I got my Ultimate Defender done, Dizzy. Where's yours? Actually, was Warping Core even on it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. That's the only one that gives people problems. In DDA? Well, where is Warping Core at? Did it get added today? Oh, you're just joking because it's not there yet. I'm like, hold on, what am I missing? What am I missing? I know what the challenge is, but it's not there yet. Or is it there yet? And I just haven't played it yet. Holy crap, did I really just miss a complete challenge, or are you just being mean to me? Huh. Well, I'll have to check that out. Sounds like a video to be made. Gonna say I only remember the two challenges, but you know, I also haven't gotten enough sleep in the last month. I'm gonna do a Buccaneers Bay build too before that DD1 giveaway and contest, the community contest ends. I'll probably edit that up and throw it on the channel here within the next few days. I think that contest goes for another week. The community has really has gotten DD1 to where it is today, and has kept kept things going. Almost constant events, contests, and such. There's a lot of passion from the players in that game for sure. Well, that's back to DD1. That's another thing. It just wasn't intended to be that way, and ended up that way in DD2. There, UV Brooks. DD1, you didn't stack traps and auras. They wouldn't both do damage, you know? I mean, I hear you. I'm a flame aura spammer like a mofo in DD2. You guys know that. I love me some flame auras. But I do understand that it was not intended to be that way. Variety is the spice of life, so they say. And I think more variety was planned other than just spam flame auras down every lane. What's going on, Theoden? How you doing? I made it into Minecraft Dungeons last night, finally, Theoden, but only for about 10 minutes. Definitely seems like it's got potential to be fun. I'm anxious to see where it heads. You can do it, but it's not in your best interest to do it. There, Gotten. Sorry, mispronouncing your name. I use that 1 amp warrior build, Kragus. Now, on that same note, I'm going to be meeting with random persons who is number 1 on the leaderboards here, probably actually tonight, to go over a new climb build for people for DD2. It's going to be real similar to that one. That's why you haven't been able to complete it, Dizzy, because you haven't played it yet. You'll be able to do it. You just have to do different design. Oh, anyway, the reason you don't stack traps next to each other like that, Gotten, is only one trap will hit a target. So, say this was DDA, and these were both explosive traps, and an enemy is right here in range of both of them. Only one of the explosive traps are going to do damage to that enemy. Now, there is an exception to that rule, and that is those thunder spikes, because they're single target anyway. So 2 of those will target one enemy. You want to go as high as you can. There, Stom. There's no right answer or no number that you want to shoot for. You want to climb as high as you can in Onslaught before you do your first AP reset. I would say at a minimum, don't reset before, say, like floor 70. But the higher you go, the better off you are. So literally push as high as you can. I would go higher than that. Like I said, the minimum I personally would say is go to 70 at a minimum. You can beat 54, you just have to change your build. If you go in there and you build the exact same way and it keeps failing, you're not going to pass it. You got to change what you're doing. You know, if what you're doing isn't working, you got to change. You know, that's just life in general. So when you go into an Onslaught map, like, I'm not going to do this map because I despise Onslaught, but if you go into an Onslaught map, you got to look around and see what's going on, you know? So let's go in here and I'll pop in and I'll look around and see what's going on. Well, you use the correct defenses for the enemies that are there, or the base game. Before you get any mods and any specialized setups, the base game is a game of countering enemies. So you use the correct defense versus those enemies. So let's look at some examples here. Okay, here we got Timmy's Revenge. So what's coming? Okay, we've got a bunch of Vanguards, which is the second from the bottom coming. Those are going to absorb any frontal projectiles. We've got a bunch of Frost enemies, which are the top 2. And so what do we see about that? Well, Frost enemies, the direct counter to Frost enemies is fire damage. All sources of fire do double damage against Frost enemies. So you'd want fire damage on this lane. Well, we've got those Vanguards. Vanguards absorb frontal projectiles. So the worst thing we could do is use any sort of projectile defense on this lane. And then Brittle and Wall Leech are not really 2 mutators we would have to be too concerned about. And let's move on to the next lane. Okay, we got Psyguard Throwers. So here, we've got Cyborgs, which Cyborgs stun traps, nodes, and auras. So the base counter to Cyborgs is don't use traps, auras, and nodes. Then we've got Vanguards. Once again, Vanguards absorb frontal projectiles, which means you wouldn't want to build any projectiles on this lane. If we look at the mutators, Phased actually helps us, because in most cases you wouldn't use blockades now anyway. So that's going to slow the enemies down, which actually help them. Soft Spot, we're not really going to get much of a benefit from. So, like, the ideal setup from this lane would be to use maybe some sort of when you had no mod setups and no endgame setups, the counter to this lane would be don't use projectiles, don't use traps, auras, and nodes. So one of the easiest things that pop right off out of my head would be Earth Shatters. Properly sharded are going to provide some crowd control to this lane to knock them up. If you throw Flame Auras up here, they're just going to get stunned by the Cyborgs, so you don't want to do that. You've got things like Ramsters would work really, really well on this lane. Then we move on over here. Well, we basically got the same thing. We got Cyborgs and Vanguards, so no Traps, Auras, or Nodes, plus no frontal projectiles. So this would be the exact same as that lane right there. If we look down, Unstoppable, enemies are immune to slow. Well, then don't use slow on the lane. You know, like the slows are like, say, boosted grasp and a boost aura, the slow from the chill effect on a frostbite tower. You'd want to not use those things. And then we go to the final lane. We still got zappers too, or flyers. We'll get to them in a minute. We go to the final lane. We got Kursakazes. When kobolds die, they leave an area that debuffs towers and defenses. Now, basically what this means is if I've got a flame aura right here, and the kobold dies right here, it's going to debuff that flame aura. So what's the answer here? Kill the enemies from range. It's not map wide, so you'd want to kill them from range. Then if we look at the top mutator, we've got maximum effort. Now we have no special chaos enemies. We do have some Frosty Draken, which they will take double damage from fire, but we got no special chaos counters to deal with on this lane. Maximum effort though, enemies have more health but get weaker with each unique source of damage that hits them. Which means if you use multiple damaging types, which means one Earth Shatter, one Poison Dart Tower, one Ramster, mix it up, use different stuff for every additional enemy or every additional unique defense you put on this lane, you're going to be doing more damage to the mobs that are there. And I mean, that right there is just a basic rundown of Onslaught. This flyer lane, say we've got long shot, the further a source of damage is from an enemy, the more damage it deals. What's that telling you? Used range defenses. Because the further away you put your defense, the more damage it's going to do. And then we've got armored. Enemies take reduced physical damage and increased magic damage. I mean, it's all telling you right there what to do. Don't use physical damage, use magic damage. Now, how you can tell the difference, the easiest way to tell the difference between physical damage and magic damage is to just look at the numbers. If you look at the damage numbers, they tell you what it is. So, if we can ever load in here. I'm not used to the slow loading again. So, if we come over to the dummy, white numbers are physical damage. Oh, all the dummies are gone because of the snow? Jeez. White numbers are physical damage. Purple numbers are magic damage. The light blue numbers are a special damage type, which is frost damage. There's no way to do it and save the DLC. There, UV. You could delete all your heroes, but that's going to say, even that will save your Ascension level. That's one of the things with it being account-based. So anyway, if we look at, say, a Flame Aura, and we watch the damage numbers, the red damage are crits. So don't look at the red numbers. But we see all the numbers that are coming off are purple. So that indicates that this defense is magic damage. If we look at, say... Let's just say throw an explosive trap. Say you got an explosive trap here. And take a look at the damage numbers. The damage numbers are white. Those purple numbers you just saw are my pet. The damage numbers that the explosive trap are doing here are white numbers. Now, white numbers indicate it's physical damage. Once again, the red numbers are just crits. Yeah, you get one from Mastery Mode and one from Prime Incursions, Kevin. So you can get 2 total. But that is 100% Onslaught basics. That's just this situation. We've got two main aspects. We've got a proton beam that is giving us petrify damage. And then we've got a reflect beam, which hits like an absolute truck and is giving us earth damage. Or pardon me, the proton is giving us poison damage. And then the reflect beam is giving us earth damage. Now, what is this doing? Well, this setup is first off giving us the petrify combo from combining poison damage and earth damage. But it is also providing us protection versus anything behind. And this is what I mean by a more specialized build, where now anything that I put inside of here will be completely protected from cyborgs. So anything that disables ground traps, R's, and nodes is going to be protected because I've got a mod that counters that enemy. But once again, it all boils down to it is a game of counters. 100%. It's all about counters. So, counter enemies, you win the game. Pretty much all there is to it. Boy, that turned into a long-ass rant and rave, didn't it? Holy shit. Sorry, y'all. Let's get back to Prime Incursions. Nobody said shut up, Juice. If you'd have said shut up, I'd have stopped 5 minutes ago. Alright, what's next? What are we doing next, y'all? Oh, it's all good. I'm just laughing at myself. No one's ever told me that I don't talk enough. Most people tell me I go on way too long. So, well, I mean, more tutorials for what, though, Pandas, is the thing. If the build requires a hyper shard, then it's with hyper shards, yeah, Kragus. But, I mean, the thing with the tutorials on the channel is I've done everything. There's nothing left. DD2 is a completed product. It's not going to get changes. Or there's no changes planned anyway at the moment. Mastery is all about practice. Now, first off, there's one big thing with Mastery. Mastery was made prior to mods ever being a thing. When Mastery was created, there were no such thing as mods. So any mod that you have on is going to just, no matter what the mod is, any mod is going to be an additional benefit to what was originally intended. What Mastery was intended to be was, I'm not going to really farm an incursion map today. I wanted to more just kind of casually do a few different ones and do some Q&A type stuff. So that's what, that's what I'm trying to go through now. But anyway, Mastery is all about a practice run. Do one practice run first. So, for example, let's say Chaos 1 Life-Root Forest. Well, if we do, or that's the Life-Root region. If we look at, say, Life-Root Forest, we look down here and look at our challenges. No blockade type defenses, complete. Okay, that one is actually the complete each build phase in under 30 seconds is a good one to talk about, because I know a lot of people have a problem with that one. What this means is to complete each build phase in under 30 seconds is the first thing you need to do is get a picture in your head of what the build should look like. You gotta know what you want it to be, or you're not gonna be able to complete it in 30 seconds. You see what I'm saying? So if you pop into the map, eventually, you can do it, little game, launch. Anyway, so we popped in, we're in the map. We need to look. Now, the main thing is think fast. Now, since this think fast is 100% the main challenge in this particular map, that's what we want to look at. Now, in order to build this map in under 30 seconds, you're going to want to have to build it first. So let's just take a practice run. We'll completely ignore the challenge on it and get a picture of what we want the build to look like. Now, for this particular map, we don't have... What tier are we even in? We're in Chaos 1. So, okay, now the main deal with Chaos 1 is Vanguards, that third enemy down. Vanguards, once again, we keep seeing a lot of those today, are going to absorb frontal projectiles. So anywhere on this map, we do not want to use frontal projectiles. But what we do want to do is get a picture of what we want the build to look like. Now, let's say we've got a flyer lane here. So say we wanted the build to look like something, say, like this. Actually, we can just throw a booster and we can go full monkage here. Say we want the build to look something like that with, say, a Skyguard behind, just in case, to help with the flyers. Well, now we've got a picture of what we want each lane to look like. So let's build the entire map and get the finished total look of what we want it to look like. Let's do this lane as well. Here we won't... The flyers dip really low on this map, so you actually don't even need anti-air. I'm putting it in anyway, just because. And then I've got 100 left for whatever. Now, I know what I want the build to look like. This is what I want it to look like. So now I have to look at what is it going to take to complete the first wave. Because I'm not going to be able to build this whole thing in 30 seconds. It's just not realistic, you know? So what is it going to take to complete the first wave? Well, I think, realistically, I can probably get through wave 1 with just that on each lane. 1 Flame Aura, 1 Lightning Strike, 1 Boost Aura. That should get me through wave 1. Now, getting this on each lane, oh, I can do that in under 30 seconds. So now we get an idea of what we want the basic part of the map to look like. So let's go ahead and head on out and restart the map and try it for real. Now, I'm not actually going to run through it unless you guys want me to, but that is what mastery is all about, is knowing what you want to do up front. So hop in, ignore all timers, ignore all challenges, build the map the way you want it to be, and then you know what you want it to look like. So you know exactly what you need to do, and then you can go back in and make it happen. Some of the mastery maps, like say the ones that are 10 different defenses, well, I mean, nothing's been picked yet. There's been Demon's Lair is the only thing even mentioned. I mean, I'm more than happy to run Demon's Lair, but I don't want to grind any one map. I just kind of wanted to mix it up today. And right now, Dungeon Defenders has got just a ton of new players. So I want to make sure any new players feel welcome to ask questions and, you know, no judgment. Some of the maps, like, let's find a really tough one real quick before we move away from Mastery. Let's see. That one's not nothing. Ramparts. C6 Catacombs is well, this one doesn't have a timer though, is the thing, so that's still easy to do. It's down to the same thing. Complete all phases with 10 or more different defenses. So you'd want to load into the map. You'd want to ignore diversity and get a picture of what you want the map to look like. What you want the build to look like. So place all of your defenses exactly how you'd want it. Now here you can't use towers. So like this particular map is going to be pretty dependent on having multiple heroes. Remember, Mastery, although people tackle it right away now, it's meant as one of an endgame mode. Or, pardon me, only tower types. So only tower types is going to, you know, you're going to want to have a selection. So the more heroes, the merrier. But Mastery was intended as like an endgame challenge mode. Now, the problem with Mastery is there's no replay value in it. You do it once and you're done with it. And that's really where Mastery has always had that issue. If it had replay value, Mastery would be really fun to do. You'd see people doing it all the time. Exclamation builds in chat there, Clowner, will be defense spotlights on pretty much every defense in the game on how to set them up. Alright, so let's do, since that's the only map that's been requested, let's do Demon's Lair here. Where are we at? There it is. But the first step there, Clowner, is getting the shards you need. The very first step in the game. Get the shards you need. What's going on, Jaime? I missed you there. How you doing today? Let's see. Let's just do... How do we want to do it? Get a little CC there at the end. The Proton Beam is just really good crowd control with the slow and the freeze. And then you guys know I'm an EV2 fanboy. Love me some EV2. And then we got flyers. Let's get a little flyer defense in. And I'm pretty sure that will hold the lane. We can get a little spawn camp going too, just to make the map run quicker. What's going on, Ghoul Gang? Is there any point getting over 100% armor? Yeah, but we don't know the number yet, and it's not confirmed that it's working properly yet, Wes. There will be a number to get to down the road, but we just don't know what that number is. How armor works in DD1 and in DDA is there will be a value reduction for each tier that you're in. So depending on where you're playing, like the raw 100% you see on the screen is going to be for medium. So if you go up to insane, you're going to want a number slightly higher than that. If you go up to Nightmare, you're going to want a number slightly higher than that. And then Massacre, of course, will have a number even slightly higher than that. But like I said, it's kind of sketchy whether or not it's even working properly at the moment. And plus, we just don't know what those values are yet. But I actually put it on one and not on another with my two DPS heroes, and I can notice a difference. Like the one that has, I've got one that's up to 155%, which is probably way too high, but not knowing the number, you just don't know what to do. So I just went up really, really high on it. That particular hero, like, only takes large amounts of damage if I've got a web on me. And remember, a web strips your armor. So always so afraid to bug this guy. Nah, there's no published percentages out there, Bora. It's small. I don't know what that percentage is, but it's a very low number for sure. That, and remember, getting the weapon is only half the battle. You know, it might have crappy rolls on it. Remember, you're going to have to mod it, which modding Chaos 8 stuff is really expensive. So that's why you see people not really too overly concerned about farming that Chaos 8 stuff. It's just not a massive, massive value to add in. It seems like it should be, but it's not. It's not going to change anyone's setup getting that item. Nah, they aren't dependent on your hero, sadly. So, let's see. I'll get one right now. Give me a Deathwing. Nope. Game said no. But yeah, it's not dependent on who you have, so it's not like other drops in the game. I mean, it's something to grind and something to shoot for, but the value of it is really small. It's expensive to get it squared away. And plus, you have to not only find the weapon, but then find the correct shot type you're looking for, or the correct weight. I would definitely encourage building your weapon from scratch over it. Now, if you ran into one, then hell yeah, pick it up, you know? But nothing, there's no substitute for building the weapon yourself and putting it together exactly how you want it. Spectral Assault. Oops, make it public. Oh, no problem. Thanks for joining. Like I said, if any of y'all got any questions, what's going on there, B. Wade? I didn't see you sneak in either. Tobias, man, I'm missing all kinds of chat today. Old B. Wade is the lucky winner of that Tenacity and that 100 mil. Hopefully you spent it all already, B. Wade. If you didn't spend it all already, that means you didn't need it to begin with. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm just joking. Gone it is. That's fair. That's awesome then, dude. It should have been a nice improvement for what you needed for your setup. Just do the same thing here. I'm gonna get some crowd control in the lane, and then gonna just overkill it. It is hard. Well, the problem now is the markets are unstable. There's just not a lot of really good things available, and you don't see a lot of good things for sale at a decent price because the people that... well, in a lot of cases, the people that are selling the things, that means that they don't need it for themselves. And in a lot of cases, those people don't need the gold either. So they're just gonna, you know, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, they're gonna put it at a really high price just to get the maximum they can get for it. You can make private lobbies for any game mode, Tobias. You just have to select private from the you just have to select private when you create the game. When you create the game, always hit what is it? Is it custom game? Or I'll show you here when we get out of here. But yeah, you can make any map private that you want, for sure. It's no fun having somebody jump in when you're progressing and new to the game and blowing through the map. I mean, on one aspect of it, you got the carry, but if you're playing the game for fun, you lost out on some of that, you know? You lost a little of your enjoyment because somebody came through. Oh, no. Haha, we got the big fail here. Did I build with the wrong character? I must have built with the wrong proton beams or something. We didn't get any stun at all there. Let's go ahead and take it more seriously and actually spend some of the DU, I guess. I saw him coming on the mini-map, but no avoiding it. Hey, I never claimed to be perfect, Dizzy. That is not the first and certainly won't be the last map I've ever lost, that's for damn sure. going on, Dan? How you doing? Hopefully the family is all well and safe and all that. We'll do a full build on it instead of screwing around. There we go. We're doing good. I think the whole lockdown thing is driving the wife batty. She's not a she's a get out and do things kind of girl, you know. So she has not been super content with the 12-hour video gaming days. Now, for me, obviously, that's like dream come true stuff. But for her, she would much rather be looking at that outside thing. Alright, there we go. That should be a little better. I'll show you here as soon as we get out of here, Tobias. I just had the miserable fail here. Let us blaze through this, and then we'll I'll show you what you need to do. We got another one up there. Oh, the squire just ran right by. You ran right by the Lady Orc, Squire. That's just how the game is developed into, Chris. Most of the people that start public matches want to build a lane themselves. Hey, I'm not the squire that sat there and it ran right by him. You could see it right on the minimap. I am not that squire. What do I have going on here? Do I have something different? Nah, everything looks like it's still in the right place. I can tell you that I used to never fail this map, though. Let's reverse the protons, since we don't need the tenacity on the reflect beams on this one. And I did put that proton with the right hero, right? Let me make sure. Let's see. Almost did the wrong hero there. Did I put everything in this lane? Yeah, looks like it. Oh, the choke is real today, let me tell you. Alright, what do we got left? I'm overkilling it now, y'all. We are gonna kill him real good. 2 fails in a row calls for overkill. They hit like a truck, Tobias. So, like, the main source of damage on this lane is the reflect beam. The little torpedo, you see that little ball of light that's moving from node to node? When they hit the node, they explode. And it's the most powerful thing on the map right now. There's zero doubts there. Alright, we don't need no anti-air. We got flame arrows for that. I'm gonna watch the mini-map this time. I imagine everything will get blowed up this time around now. We'll have to see. Overkill, the overkill. Looks like we got a couple flyers peeking. I want to throw some upgrades there. I actually got upgrade mana that I didn't even spend. The Dryad kind of sucks for that, Jaxie. I mean, the best thing to do is use Burning Strikes and go smack them. But remember, you can't do it from range. You have to go up to it and smack it. But Burning Strikes is always going to be the easiest answer of what to do for the Drakenlord. It's just literally the easiest thing to do, you know? But not being ranged, you know, it's got to be a primary attack, and the Dryad's primary attacks are smacking them. Now, you can also just build Petrify into your build, so use Poison and Earth. And that will handle it too. So kind of whichever route you want to take. What's going on there, little Marco? How you doing? Alright, this should be way more than enough to burn through the rest of this now. When the Drakenlord gets petrified, he loses his protection from the shield, Jaxie. During the course of the petrify, his protection is gone. Nah, see then, well, I mean, the torches are all about either placement or tenacity. There's sketchy places, or cheeky places, where you can place those to auto, or to ignore the torches altogether. Or if you use tenacity or automation on your defenses, then you can ignore the torches. I was thinking more along the lines of the boss himself. But yeah, as the torches, either tenacity on your defenses, automation on your defenses, or go up and whack them with burning strikes. Better to equip all green for stats, or better to equip if it's a higher number? Well, I mean, it's all about, as far as the piece of gear, it's all about the stats and the number of shard slots available. The problem with green gear is you only have access to 1 shard slot. And then blue gear, 2 shard slots, and epic or legendary gear, you get all 3. So the main benefit of the rarities in DD2 is just about the number of shard slots you have. We should have time for one more after this one. I can do a little Wyvern's Den. Nah, sorry about that. I wasn't trying to confuse you there, Jaxie Waxy. I just got confused myself. I haven't played the game. I've been playing the new game, Evan. That, and it's just not a big motivator for me. Most of y'all that know me, I know that I'm not the E-peen type. Good lord, man. Just getting one shot like a mofo here. The most useless shard in the game? That's a tough call. There's a lot of useless shards. I can tell you the one that triggers me the most is Drain Aura. Drain Aura is so terrible and pathetic. Yet, it could be so wonderful if it just had another 0 or 2. Well, I mean, that would be based off of personal preference, Parker. I personally like to go with a Monk, 2 EVs, and a Lavamancer is kind of my standard deck. Drain Aura is a mod, Bora. Oh, you said shard, derp. The most useless shard? There's 75% of the shards in the game are completely useless. So, that's a tough one to call. As far as what's the most useless shard. The most useless shard would still be dependent on the person. It'd be for a hero that you don't have. You know? What the heck keeps one-shotting me like this? I'm not even sure why I'm keep dying. That is the weirdest thing. Like, I'm getting a really bad rubber band thing going on right now. But, like, there was no mob anywhere near me that time, unless it was a kobold. No, there wasn't an assassin on me. That and assassins don't one-shot. I mean, it takes a couple of shots to kill me with an assassin. We got Tuskar first. There we go. Yeah, it had to have been kobolds. A kobold that I just didn't see. Shocking revelations, I mean, there's not really much more I can say there, Dan, other than it's just not good without doing the legacy setup that you can't do anymore. I mean, Shocking Revelations took a massive, massive nerf to any new player with them removing that combination from the game. It just is never going to help you versus using just Storm in that same setup. You know, like even say you had 2 separate weapon manufacturers, one with Shocking Revelations, one with Water. Well, Water and Storm is just always going to do better because there's not going to be a chance that that Shocking Revelation will proc in between and create additional diminishing returns. It's always going to be there. Well, I mean, I personally don't use Weapon Mans anymore because I want to use that Shocking Revelation Water combo. But since new players can't achieve that, I don't use it at all. So, I mean, I don't even use weapon manufacturers at all, ever. Like, I haven't for probably a year. The giveaway ended Wednesday night at midnight there, Josh. So, it's been over for a day and a half or so. Alright. So let's look at just starting a game. I can't remember who asked it. but someone was asking a question about making matches private. The health, my monk's health? Yeah, it's all from, pretty much from AP. From the increased Ascension. I've got 999 points into hero health. That's a big, for hero health, that's a big number. Anyway, so if you want to make your match private, always hit advanced. Always. Whenever you start a map. Say you wanted to do Chaos 5 Gates of Dragonfall. So you'd go to advanced, you'd go to Chaos 5. It's a town map, so we go to Dragonfall Town. We'd select Gates of Dragonfall, and then we would create the match from there, and it'll give us the option of make it public or do it private. But you can do that for literally every map in the game. You can make it private. Well, the number of AP resets is not why my health is so high. It's the Ascension points. I mean, 999 Ascension points is almost 80,000 hero health. You know, you get 80 per point. You do the same. It's the exact same thing for incursions, Tobias. So if you go to an incursion, say you wanted to do, you hit advanced. Say you wanted to do Betsy, you go to Prime, the Wyvern's Den, and then I'd create the map, and you get the choice of going public or private. So every one is exactly the same. We're going to do this one public, though. This will be the last one, y'all. So, if you want to get your Betsy killing on, hop on in and kill that girl. You get 1 hyper shard for completing each Prime region. So if you do all of Prime 1, you get the Prime 1 hyper shard. If you do all of Prime 2, you get the Prime 2 hyper shard. If it's grayed out for you, then that means you don't have it unlocked yet, Tobias. Or there's something buggy going on with it. Anything that's grayed out on there, though, means it's not unlocked yet. Alright. This one we'll have to move the build around constantly. See, here we don't have to worry about, let's go with the V instead, because we don't have to worry about cyborgs at all, being a Prime Incursion. Do it a little wonky. We'll go with it like that. Alright, Dan, take it easy. Thanks for swinging by. Yeah, this will be my last game, Jaxie. Like I said, the YouTube streams, it's not by my doing, but YouTube has a really, really terrible time processing live stream VODs after the stream is over. And the majority of viewers that I get from live streams come after the stream is over. And YouTube's only answer to it has been keep your streams at 2 hours, and then they won't have a long time process. And when I mean a long time, I'm not talking like a few hours. I'm talking days. Like my last super long live stream on YouTube was like, I want to say it was like 10 hours. And it ended up taking like 19 days for the video to process. Which, that's just a huge pain in the butt. Oh, it's all the same, Rexo. It doesn't matter what pattern you put it in. As long as it's there, you're getting the element. I think you should use whatever build you want to, whatever reflect shape you want to use. I mean, the main thing is that it's there. What shape it is doesn't matter. Use what you want. You know, if you've got a shape that you like, that you think is fast to put down, then hell yeah, go for it. But the main thing is that the reflect is there, period. Out of juice. We'll get the rest here in the next wave. You're on floor 508 and thinking about resetting? Well, I mean, you're way, way past the point. So, I mean, for you, reset whenever you want. If you're still having fun pushing Onslaught, keep pushing Onslaught. If it's getting grindy or boring to you, then stop pushing Onslaught, you know? But, I mean, you climb to 508, you're way, way, way past the point of getting any additional benefit. Your ancient power resets would have been full AFK hundreds of floors ago. So, by pushing higher, you're going to get more Ascension, but you're just way past the point of needing it, you know? As long as you go to, say, floor 70 or 80 and you're using smart builds, your ancient power resets are going to be full on AFK. Literally, queue up Netflix, throw down your stuff, and watch whatever. I think the point, like the high side of that, like I want to say, well, I mean, on mine, I went to 98 on my alt. I went to floor 98 on my alt to reset, and it was literally like struggling to pretend. I did it all on videos or on stream, and it was like a constant struggle to even make it look like I was doing anything. It was so AFK. So I would 98 is past the point, you know. But it also, there's other variables, like, do you not want to do a bunch of resets? Well, say you only wanted to do one ancient power reset just to get the Ascension caps, then you want to push as high as you can, you know. You want to get to that 999 caps. But if you are doing the ancient power resets in hopes of getting the big gold bonus and stuff like that, and you're going to do a whole bunch of resets, then pushing further doesn't give you any additional benefit. I mean, you're already full AFK, you know. So going more AFK, is there such a thing as more AFK than full AFK? You know, and that's what you'd have to just ask yourself. At that point, you're just doing it you're doing it just to do it. You know, to say, I've got this large number here. Look at the size of my number. But that's pretty much it. No, I had no AP resets on it. I only did one AP reset on that. I did it all recorded and on live streams. I should, Dave, you're right. Netflix should at least give me free membership, right? At a minimum, for God's sakes. You know, the downside of pushing really, really high and getting to 999 in one reset is if you want to do a bunch of resets, you could have had a whole lot more resets done in the time that it took you to get up to get 999. And the upside is the 999 would then be done and out of the way, and you wouldn't have to think about it anymore. So it's like a to each their own type thing. If you're going to do ancient power resets, you should want to get to 999 Ascension caps. That should be your main reason for wanting to reset. Oops, I never put a flame aura here. That's alright. We'll throw an extra up on that reflect. Right, now this one got screwed. Did the whole thing get screwed, or... See, the proton got screwed. Looks like the whole thing didn't get screwed, though. You can just move it all back a little. Go say something like that. There we go. All right. Well, I mean, you only want to do the push thing once, though, Jaxie. Once you start doing AP resets, spam them all out. You know, that's why I always say push as high as you can up front, and then get all of your AP resets over with. You know, it's going to be the best way to go as far as, like, minimizing the amount of crafting materials you end up spending, or, you know, it's just going to be the way to go. Once you start resetting, you should really knock them all out. You think I'm short of Skyguard? I got a couple of Skyguards. They're for Betsy. Obviously, it's way overkill for the wyverns. They're all for the girl. All for the girl. Makes it laggy as hell, though, huh? Nice, Dave. No need there, Dan. This is AFK Betsy kill here. No one needs to do anything. It's literally watch or die. I mean, that's the whole point. It's just for fun, to see the fireworks show. Skyguards hit like an absolute truck, you know? All about the fireworks. Well, there's no best hero. I can answer that one really quickly for you. The best hero is the hero that you've spent the time on developing and turning into a badass. That's the best hero. I can tell you... I can tell you who my favorite heroes are, but I'm not going to call them the best. My favorite heroes would be the EV2 and the Monk. Well, it's just there's not, you know. I mean, one is not better than the other, you know. There's my personal favorites, there's your personal favorites, and there's really no wrong answer. If you spend the time to build the hero up, then the hero is going to be good. You know, you're going to be able to use it. Thank you so much for subscribing there, Beastmaster. I do appreciate it. Ergonax, thank you so much as well. Welcome to the channel, y'all. The best hero is the person playing it. If it was a skill-based game, but since it's not, I would have to disagree with you there, Jaxie. I mean, I could sit over here and just do nothing and watch for a stray lady orc. And that would not make me the best hero here. That would make me the laziest mofo here. The laziest mofo on the map. In most cases, that is always me. Oh, did I miss another laid, Shiv? I'll pay attention at some point. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is. Right in the middle of it. How the hell did I miss that? Alright, we'll bring it back over here, I guess. Nope, not in time. I'll have time to build it before she gets done doing her little business. Doing her business. You know I'm not looking at the game, Shiv. I'm watching the stream chat. And still missing stream chat. I mean, when I can sit here and stare directly at stream chat and still miss stream chat. I'm like casually glancing over at the game every now and then. This is the last map today, y'all. Like I said, YouTube prefers its live streams to be at the 2-hour mark, and we have actually gone over already. Get them, Sky Guards! Wreck our frames. We don't need them frames. Oh no, she got mad and got one of them. That's alright. The other 6 million will get the job done. Oh, Shelly Lynn, what's up? That's why I need an LSA at the peak there, but I don't need an LSA at the peak there, damn. And I've farmed this girl like 100 times. I mean, you literally stand here and ignore it all. That's, you know, spray in that general direction. All the Sky Guards never die. The most she ever hits is 1 stack of them. She never hits the other. She will always go to the core after that. Oop. I forgot I didn't have time to type in thanks to the folks. If y'all are watching, thanks for carrying the lane I completely ignored, Shiv. Appreciate it. That is actually a shard, little Marco. It's not the shield itself. It's a shard. Well, I mean, if you had a teammate stand on them, then they all died, well, that's the teammate's fault. I mean, obviously, if you stand on them, you're asking for them to die. That's just... too many things are going to be hitting them. Rollers, Betsy, and Assassins. But... teammates are the worst. Not really. Teammates can save the day just as well as they can ruin the day. What do I think about building my whole gear on DD2? I'm not really sure what you mean. Their close grip. Oh, no doubt there, Dave. No doubt at all. I've got a bunch of stuff I can't use. The shard packs I don't care about. They've been in there since Christmas. This was a Christmas present. I've got a vault tab I can't use, a bag I can't use, and a bunch of shard packs that I just would rather ignore. But, yeah, I've always got something sitting in the mail. But, yeah, I'm already at max bags and max vault space, so I just can't use those. I'm not gonna just... if I just hit accept, they would just evaporate into thin air. by letting them stay there, if there's ever the chance, even I realize it's non-existent, if there's ever the chance that they add another inventory slot or another vault slot, I'll have them sitting there waiting for me. The shards are just me being lazy. That was the last map there, Ricardo. Anyway, everybody, thank you all so much for swinging by today. As I mentioned, there's going to be a new YAMP Warrior build upcoming here in the next couple of days. Working on it with Random Persons. Some of y'all know him from Discord or the Leaderboards. And as soon as I can, I will get that thing all done and uploaded to you. But anyway, thanks a ton, everybody. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful afternoon. And I'll see you all next time. Take it easy.